2.
Well, we're best friends with Kalani Sitake, the head football coach at Brigham Young, and the Big 12 future as well. And Coach Sitake from BYU joins us now on Sikkim 365 Radio. Coach, thank you very, very much. What signal and what message did you send, and what did Brigham Young send with the news of your new contract going forward?
Well, I think the major thing is that there's an investment and a commitment from our administration and our school to get us to a level where we can be, comparable to the other P5 schools, and then specifically to the schools in the Big 12. And so that's the key for me. The contract thing was never about myself. It was about the people that I care about in our program, and a lot of those guys are the workers, are the ones that are behind the scenes that no one hears about. I think it's important for me as a leader and as a head coach to think and speak for them, and then the people that we actually do this for, and that's for the young men that are in the locker room. I think it's important that they get all the resources to give them success, and I'm really excited that there's that commitment, and I'm excited to be, the head coach here a little bit longer. So it's going to be a lot of fun. Just looking forward to developing our players and getting us ready for that 2022 season, which will then lead to our entrance to the Big 12.
Well, you've been getting awful close to that relevance without being a P5. How much has it changed in the few months, at least as far as attention from recruits and different things, that you are going to be a P5 school, and you can tell these kids that you're going to be signing in 2 days, hey, by the time you're a junior, you're going to be playing for conference titles and maybe even a college football playoff?
Well, I think the awareness of the partners that we'll have in the Big 12, and then cheering for them, it's a lot of fun, where you're hoping for their success because they're business partners, which means that we're partners in the Big 12, and so we want to see them do well. We want to see their fans happy in every game except for when we play against them. So we're really looking forward to this partnership and the union that we can be part of this group and with the Big 12, and really honored to be invited there, and looking at all the great coaches and programs and the leadership that's in all those universities. It's an honor for us to be a part of it.
Coach, you play one of the earlier bowl games. You have it, 5 days from now, you will be playing UAB. For your team and kind of how you view the postseason run, the bowl practices, what do you look to get accomplished, and how much are you able to get done in these few weeks of bowl practices?
Well, for me, it's development, and just like spring football, where you are allowed a certain amount of practices to develop your young players. I think that we obviously want to be polished up and make sure that we don't go rusty with the time off with the starters. But I think for the most part, the development of the younger players, the up and coming players, and to provide depth that's needed for our program, it's important that we take advantage of these practices and focus on the fundamental part of the game and the technique. And then having that followed up by a game and the excitement behind the game, and then gifts and all this wonderful stuff is a great transition to the off season going to the spring football. So to me, making the bowl season is important, just to have that valuable time to develop your young men in the program.
Coach, your thoughts about what we see now with the coaching carousel changing so rapidly in the middle of the year, early signing day, which is, of course, in a couple of days, as Craig mentioned, and how that might be affecting that. And then now you have the transfer portal that's wide open like free agency and the NIL. Are you concerned about the innocence, if it's any left in college football?
No, I think it's important that we define our culture on our team, and that we also define our identity and what we're about. There's a difference between being the creativity and innovation, and then just going with the flow. For us, it's trying to be ahead of everything, but then seeing how all these new things, like you mentioned, that NIL, early signing period, transfer portal, how can that benefit our program? But more importantly, how can that help us build our culture? So we have to realize our identity is very unique, and we think that I think as a head coach, and we think as a program, that it could give us a competitive advantage. And so these things that come along, there's great technology that can help us as well. But new things, innovation, creativity, and change can either help or hurt. And for us, we need to make sure that it fits in what we're and well aligned with what we're trying to do as a program, which is develop young men into great contributors to the community. That's our goal. I know my focus is supposed to be on winning games, but My focus is to develop these young men, allow them to live their dreams, but maybe tap into some potential that they don't even see themselves.
What's it like to be the head coach at your alma mater? And like we said, you got that commitment, the contract extension. You already had a passion for the institution by being a student. Is there a different level when you are the head coach that you can take it to?
I'm having so much fun. I'm honored to be the head coach. And before I was the head coach here, I played here for a legendary coach like Lavelle Edwards, who made a huge impact in my life. And this place has meant so much to me. So to be able to come back and I see this as a way for me to serve and do whatever I can to give these young men the type of environment that I got to enjoy when I was a player, and make that transition from a young man to an adult. That's the key for me. And to interact with wonderful fans. Before I was a player and before I was a coach, I was a fan of BYU, and I loved BYU as a kid growing up, watching all the legends that played here before. And so, I'm living the dream right now. So I think I can relate to a lot of the fans and their expectations and their frustrations too. My job is to make them all happy, and I'm looking forward to trying to do that.
Coach, what's it been like to see the development of Jaron Hall throughout the year? Was impressed when we saw you guys play down in Waco, and you can see the talent level. But just obviously played a few more games after that. What's it been like to see him progress throughout this season?
It's been great, and I have to give a lot of credit to his work ethic, but also to the development that he's had, and that's with having great mentors and people that are willing to work with him, guys like Aaron Roderick, who's our offensive coordinator, also people like Jeff Grimes that took so much time to believe in him when he was young. So seeing him and him mature on the field as a football player, have poise and be able to make great decisions. It's never perfect, but I'm just really happy that he has a great work ethic and is willing to learn and get better. And then we can overcome any mistakes with work ethic and with effort and energy. So that's what we're focused on. I can't wait to see how much he improves and gets better. And we're trying to get better just a little bit every day, and I see it working in him and seeing it working with the others.
Coach, you saw what Baylor did. You saw them firsthand, and it was a game that was played here in Waco, but then they kept winning. And then they won the Big 12 championship, and they're in the Sugar Bowl. Your thoughts, Dave Aranda is around like you're around at Brigham Young. He's not going anywhere. Your thoughts about what he's done?
Doesn't surprise me at all. I knew when we played that game and we had that opportunity to compete against them, we knew that they were going to be something special, and then you could see it. And so, from firsthand view, from my point of view, I saw some really good things, and I see the culture developing and starting to thrive there. And Dave Aranda's a great coach, and he has a great cast that's there, support cast, and the coaching staff that and great young men. So it was really cool. I thought it was a really cool game, and I thought the environment was awesome. Fans are great. There's a lot of excitement there, and I thought they treated us well. Other than beating us, I think it was a really good experience. But it was cool. We played that game, and our guys know what it's going to take to compete in that conference. And there's nothing better than the experience. I want them to learn from it, and I want them to make sure that they can improve and get better next time that we go against we're playing big Baylor next year. So we have to be ready for this Big 12 conference, and it's nice to have that experience playing against them and knowing that they won the championship. That was a lot of fun. I mean, that was a cool game, and college football is amazing, and it was nice that I know people on that staff and my friendship with Dave Aranda. I'm really happy for him.
Hey, Kalani, Coach Sitake, we appreciate you. It was great to have you on back when you played Baylor. And it's great to have you on again here today after the news on Friday that you're going to be around the Brigham Young and eventually here in a couple of summer and a half inside the Big 12. Craig?
Yeah, Coach, before we let you go, I just want to ask you, what do you see from UAB? What are your thoughts on your final matchup this year?
Oh, great talent. I mean, you look at the way Bill Clark runs that program, well coached, and they have great athletes. We're excited to play against them in this bowl game. I know that it's closer to home for them. But we're looking forward to being on that field and competing against them. And then I know they'll test us. We know we're going to get their best shot. Hopefully we can provide our best shot against them on Saturday. But regardless of the outcome, we're looking forward to the game and looking forward to the connection and the festivities of the Independence Bowl.
How about the state of Utah in college football with what you've done, with what Utah's done, and even what Blake Anderson's done at Utah State?
Yeah, great coaches and great young men, and you can see what happens when the players are all bought into the culture. And I'm really happy for all the fans. That's part of the fun in college football is that you see the accomplishment on the field, but you see the excitement and the enjoyment from the fans. Being a college football fan myself, I can relate to how exciting things have been. And even when things don't go your way, you can still know you can bounce back, and there's a chance that you can provide more joy for the fans. That's what it's all about.
Thank you. So are you, Kalani Sitake. Thank you, Coach. Brigham Young, football coach, signed a new deal, 2027. But as he said, and the same thing with Dave Aranda, what he's doing for his staff, taking care of not just the head coach, but also the staff and others that sometimes you don't even know are involved with the program. Great to have him on the show yet again today.
I think it's important for BYU to have a former player there because they do have a unique thing. You got guys going on missions and things like that. I think he just called back, but missions and things like that, and so you have somebody who can relate to the players in that way. So
yeah, great coach. I'm sure BYU fans got a little bit nervous when rumors started popping up, much like Baylor fans with Aranda or any other fan base. UTSA with Jeff Traylor, etc. But glad that he's sticking around. Glad that they've got their guy, and he's so clearly a fit. And that he'll be around for a while. So looking forward to the new Big 12. It feels like it's actually going further and further back, quite frankly. Did you see the little I feel like I saw some random report over the weekend about Oklahoma and Texas, and I can't even remember where it came from, but now it looks like, 2024 will be the year that they leave. And it's like, oh, really? Wow, no kidding. And so, yeah, it's kind of funny, but I'm looking forward to BYU and Cincy and all the rest joining and getting that ball rolling because I think it's going to be a great conference.
Okay, so Cincinnati, Luke Fickell stayed. Matt Campbell, Iowa State, he stayed. There were thoughts he would be gone. Dave Aranda stayed. Kalani Sitake stayed. Of course,
the one program that lost the coach is the one who never loses coaches.
Yeah, in Oklahoma. Yeah, you're right. All right, when we come back, John McClain joins us on Tuesdays at 5:30. Probably about as close as you could possibly be to Dave Campbell, who passed away on Friday evening at the age of 96. The name on that Bible, the Texas High School Football Bible. He'll join us in the next segment.
Yeah, I want to say on the whole staying thing, Mike Gundy wasn't trying to stay, apparently. We need to talk about that at some point. His little letter that got leaked about, his agent being interested